to a wider audience, and certain conduct is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Should any person not wish to be recorded, I advise that they should leave the meeting room prior to any statements being made. Any defamatory statements made are not the position of council and remain an individual's opinion. Council accepts no responsibility for any defamatory statements, and all liability remains with the person making the remarks. And with that, I'd like to invite Councillor Mark Sutherland to do the Welcome to Country.
Thank you, Mr. General Manager. I would like to say Yama de Gomeroi, Wallaba Nyani Wungalava, Yalabo Murray, Maromara, Ngale Down, Dilia Yanbili, Garnamaris Gaingal Gomrang Amlanginda, Winalanginda, Winangalawa. And that's the language spoken by our families, our communities right here in Tamworth, acknowledging the country that we're on, which is the land of the Gomeroi people, and that we pay respects to old people who have cared and still care for this country. This country that was created by Bayemi, the creator of all things, created our people out of the skin, the blood and the meat of all things that exist on country. And that as Gomeroi people, we are the living embodiment of the world around us. And those relationships that we share on country are those relationships that have been passed down through our creation that give us the connection that we have today, a connection that has survived for over 60,000 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sutherland. Councillors, member of the public, for those that wish to, please rise for the meeting prayer. Thank you. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to vouchsafe thy blessing upon this council, direct and prosper our deliberations to the advancement of thy glory and the true welfare of the people of the Regional Council and Australia. Amen. Now, councillors, it's my pleasure to open the meeting tonight. I know that's a little bit unusual as the General Manager, but with the first item on the agenda being apologies and leave of absence, and in the absence of both the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor, my only role for you tonight is to ask for you to nominate a chair for this meeting.
I nominate Councillor Betts.
Councillor Betts nominated by Councillor Tickle, seconded by Councillor Burke. Councillor Betts, you're happy to chair the meeting? Yes, thank you. If you'd like to take the chair.
Thank you, Mr. General Manager. We now move to item 1 on the agenda, which is apologies and leave of absence. And we have 2 apologies, that of being the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Webb and Councillor Rodder. Could I have a mover? Councillor Burke, and seconded Councillor Coates. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Move now to item 2, which is community consultation, and we have no members registered for the community consultation. We move now to item 3, which is the minutes of the previous meeting submitted for approval. Can I have a mover? Councillor Mears, seconded Councillor Southwell. All those in favour?
Aye.
Carried. Move now to item 4, disclosure of interest. Any councillor has a item of interest that they wish to disclose. Being no disclosures, we move on now to item 5, which is the mayoral minute, and there being no mayoral minute, we now move to item 6, which is notice of motion. Being no notice of motion, we now move to item 7, environmental and planning, and being no reports contained in environmental and planning, we move now to item 8, which is infrastructure and services, 8.1. Councillor Burke.
I'm happy to move, Mr. Acting Mayor. Sorry, I thought, yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor, I was Mr. Acting Mayor. I was wanting to move a deferral of this particular agenda item. I think that.
Just could we have a seconder? Seconded Councillor Mears.
Thanks, Mr. Acting Mayor. Mr. Acting Mayor, I think it's important that we defer this so that we seek more information about it. There have been some changes come back since it was last deferred, and I think it's a very, very important item that we get right as councillors and take ownership of the document and fully understand it.
Thanks, Councillor Beck. Any councillors to speak in opposition? No in opposition. I'll put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Motion carried. Move now to item 8.2, Tamworth Regional Local Traffic Committee, held on the 5th of July 2023. Councillor Tickle, moved Councillor Tickle and seconded Councillor Sutherland. Councillor Tickle, would you like to speak to your motion? Anyone wishing to speak against that motion? Anyone wishing to make comment? No one wishing to make comment. I put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carries. We move now to item 9, Governance Strategy and Finance. 9.1, 2023 National Roads Transport Congress. Cover mover. Councillor Coates, seconded Councillor Southwell. Councillor Coates, do you wish to... anyone wishing to speak against that? We do now need to, if we have a nomination for a delegate or delegates to that conference.
I'll nominate councillor Beds.
Certainly accept that. Councillor Southwell?
I was going to nominate myself to attend. That's good. If I can. Yeah. I'm happy to attend. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going. I haven't been to any of the road stuff, so I think that'd be good.
Yeah, look, it is a valuable conference. I've attended probably since its inception, because it was the conference that generated the Roads to Recovery program, and it's a very, very valuable conference to attend. And Councillor Tickle and I attended the one in Hobart last year, and there was some very, very innovative reforms that are coming. So I do recommend that if you haven't been to it, it's certainly worthwhile. So I'll put that motion. Being no further comment, all those in favour? Against? Carried.
Hang on.
Cool.
Councillor Mears, did you wish to attend? No.
No, I didn't think.
Sorry.
I was watching him. Okay. Now we move on to item 9.2, Council Investments, June 2023. Have a mover, Councillor Coates, seconded Councillor Mears. Councillor Coates, would you like to speak to your motion?
Thank you, Mr Acting Mayor. Just to say, I just want to thank the Finance Department, Cheryl Young, for once again a really good report, and clarification is always available whenever it's sought. So thank you.
Any councillor wishing to speak against that motion? Any councillor wishing to make comment? Being no further comment, I put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Move now to item 9.3, Annual Operation Plan Budget Variation Report, June 2023. Have a mover for that motion? Councillor Coates, seconded Councillor Sutherland. Councillor Coates, would you like to speak to that motion? Anyone like to speak against that motion? I'll put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Move now to item 10, Community Services. 10.1, which is the Tamworth Regional Inclusive Cultural Advisory Committee, meeting held on the 12th of April. Councillor Southwell and seconded Councillor Mears. Councillor Southwell, would you like to speak to your motion?
Yes, please. Thank you. Just briefly, a few quick comments around this one. The TRICAC committee is requesting here that we change our terms of reference. We currently have 6 community members in the terms of reference, and we're increasing this to 8. And by doing that, it will bring greater diversity to the committee, which is great. We want to invite members who are passionate about inclusion and cultural diversity. I'd encourage applicants from the following backgrounds to apply: Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, people from LGBTQI backgrounds, people with disabilities, or people from multicultural backgrounds. The Tamworth Region Inclusive Culture Advisory Committee is focused on implementing parts of our TRC cultural plan, which will need to be updated at the end of this year. We're also focused on implementing community development actions and cultural development actions to make our region more inclusive for all, which is a great thing. I'm proud to be part of some of the achievements the committee has achieved, including recommending TRC's membership as a Welcoming Cities organisation, input into Fiesta L'Appeal and other multicultural projects and events, working with local pride groups to make TRC more inclusive, working with the Chamber to encourage businesses to display LGBTQI welcome stickers, and worked with the events team for input into the new residents event. We've achieved some great things, but we've got more work to do, and changing these terms of reference will allow that. Thank you.
Anyone wishing to speak against that motion? Anyone wishing to make comment? Councillor Coates.
Yeah, just one further comment. I totally agree with Councillor Southwell. Just to add, the new residents event was amazing. I think that anyone that attended could tell that it was such a welcome to the new people who've moved to our area. And I actually look forward to the next one because of the success of it. I just want to make a comment about the youth update that was also part of that meeting. And for me, it enabled TRICAC to actually better understand how we could connect culturally diverse youth with the wider community of youth. And I think that having them to come along and speak on that was really, really helpful, and we look forward to supporting them to do that in the future.
Councillor Coates, any further comment? Councillor Mears.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'd just like to commend the work that the committee does. Been to a couple of meetings now, and looking outside the general scope of things, there's been a lot of issues raised over employment and things like workers' health and safety. So the committee are looking at doing a scoping day for their members or the community where we can provide that information to them. So I'm certainly happy to get on board with that as well.
Thank you, Councillor Mears. Any further comment? Being no further comment, I'll put that motion. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. We move now to item 10.2, the Tamworth Regional Youth Council minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 29th of June. We've moved Councillor Sutherland, seconded Councillor Mears. Councillor Sutherland, would you like to speak to your motion?
Yes, please, Mr Acting Mayor. Great to see the Youth Council putting forward some more really positive recommendations. I think the involvement that our Youth Council being able to have more broadly across youth leadership spaces to bring that knowledge back into our community has been very beneficial. Talking around the three activities that they're really looking to promote here, and great to see conversations about young people, how they can be better engaged in study and study buddy programs and being able to make sure they're supported throughout the stressful periods of HSCs, as well as providing some level of youth safe spaces throughout our country music festival. It's a prominent festival that is, supporting all members of the community. Young people are a big part of the festival. Having that included in there is a terrific idea. I see the movement, and the support they're able to generate for young people through this recommendation. I feel as though it would be greatly supported by a regional youth strategy in that space. If we can, Mr. Ackerman, can we get a brief update on where we're at with our regional youth strategy, as I feel like that would be a great platform in the future for this.
Thank you, Councillor Sutherland. Would you like a brief summation now, or?
If possible, if not, happy to take it.
Yes, Mr General Manager.
It's Director General or Jackie?
Yeah. Through you, Mr Mayor. Yes, we've engaged a consultancy called the Strategic Development Group to develop the youth strategy. A schedule has been concluded, and they will commence the development of that strategy in August.
Great news. Thank you, Director for Business and whatever you are. We have a speaker against. Anyone wishing to make further comment?
That's very,
Yeah,
just very briefly. I just love reading these minutes that come back from the Youth Council, because I think it's providing a wonderful opportunity for the young people to have a really strong say in what actually happens in our community and what they want to see into the community in the future. But I think also I want to thank the young people that turn up and actually put in their time to help to be the voice of the youth in the community. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Coates. Anyone wishing to make further comment? Wishing to make further comment? I put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Move now to item 10.3, the Central Northern Regional Library minutes of the meeting held on the 5th of July. I have a mover, Councillor Coates, seconded Councillor Southwell. Victoria McGraw. Councillor Coates, would you like to speak to your motion?
Yes, thank you very much. Just to make a comment that once again the meeting that we attended was really, really informative, and on what's actually happening in our libraries. Particularly like when we went to Bingara to the New South Wales Public Libraries Association Northeastern Zone meeting, where we got to go to the living classroom. That was really quite an eye-opener to see that. But also we were exposed to the new STEM kits that the libraries now has available for loan, and I think to be able to offer children in the libraries and also in homes some exposure to science, technology, engineering and maths is really, really important. We never know whether or not the next Einstein is going to come out of that. I guess the other key thing there too was we were really supportive of an infrastructure grant application to get some money to have a mobile digitised van and two memory stations actually, so that we can actually start to collect some of the history of our region and digitise it and provide the opportunity for organisations to actually look at what's there and I think the important thing is the past plus the present helps us to inform the future. And we never know what's actually sitting out there in people's homes or other places that could be really, really helpful in that space. So, and I think the other thing, the last thing, just very briefly, we now have at the library, you can't take it out, a thing called a reader pen. And what it does, it will assist the visually impaired. So you just pass the pen over the words, it will assist the visually impaired to actually be able to read. But it's also really handy for translation and dictation. So translation, really great when we travel probably, but you have to buy your own. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Coates. Anyone wishing to speak against that motion? Anyone wishing to make comment? No one wishing to make comment. I put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Now that brings us to item 11 on the agenda, and at this juncture it's Council's intention to retire into closed council. And I refer to the members of the public present that the items to be discussed tonight are enclosed in the business paper in item 11. And I now ask the General Manager, has anyone members of the public made any offer to have any of those items not considered?
No, Mr Chair.
Okay. We now need a mover and a seconder to move into closed council. Councillor Tickle, seconded Councillor Burke. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried.
do separately.
7:01.
Coast is clear?
That's clear. Mr General Manager, would you please provide a summary of the meeting's agenda items conducted in closed council?
Thank you, Mr Acting Mayor. Councillors, tonight in the closed section of the ordinary council meeting, you considered two items. Both of those items you adopted the recommendation for your business.
Thank you, Mr General Manager. I now have a motion to accept that General Manager's motion, Councillor Southwell and Councillor Tickle. All those in favour? Against? Go. Thank you.
Sharing the love.